The year is 1835. The sun rises over a small village, casting long shadows across fields and farmsteads. The air is crisp and clean, birdsong fills the air, a symphony of nature's awakening. Life moves at a different pace here. The frantic rush of the modern world is yet to come. This is a world of simplicity, of hard work and close-knit communities. Life in the 1830s was predominantly rural. The majority of people lived in small villages and on farms. They were connected to the land, their lives dictated by the seasons. The Industrial Revolution was beginning to transform the landscape, but its impact was not yet felt in every corner of the world. For many, life continued much as it had for centuries. The rooster's crow is a call to action. It signals the start of another day, a day of chores, of work, but also a day for family, for community, and for simple pleasures. The pace of life may be slower, but the days are full. Every member of the family has a role to play. This is a world on the cusp of change, but for now the rhythms of rural life continue. The sun rises, the rooster crows, and the people of the 1830s greet the day. Their story is a reminder of a time when life was simpler, harder, but perhaps, in its own way, more connected. The day begins early for a family in the 1830s. Before the sun has risen, the fire is stoked and breakfast is being prepared. This is a time of shared responsibility. Everyone, even the youngest, has a role to play in the smooth running of the household. For the men, the fields beckon. Ploughing, sowing, tending to livestock, these are the tasks that dominate their days. The work is physically demanding, but there is a quiet satisfaction to be found in working the land, in providing for one's family. Women's work is equally demanding, if not more so. Their domain is the home and its immediate surroundings. Cooking, cleaning, sewing, childcare, these tasks fill their days from dawn till dusk. And let us not forget the garden, a vital source of food and sustenance for the family. Children, too, are expected to contribute. From a young age, they help with chores, both in the home and in the fields. It is a life of hard work, but it is also a life of learning. Children learn valuable skills from their parents, skills that will serve them well throughout their lives. In the 1830s, leisure time was a luxury, not a right. It was earned through hard work and was often intertwined with work itself. Evenings, Sundays, and the occasional holiday provided respite from the daily grind, moments to be cherished and shared with loved ones. Storytelling was a cherished pastime. Around crackling fires, tales of yore, both real and imagined, came to life. Passed down through generations, music too played a vital role in rural communities. Singing together, playing simple instruments like the fiddle or the banjo, these were ways to lift spirits, to forge bonds, and to celebrate life's simple joys. Nature provided its own playground. Children would spend hours exploring the woods, fishing in streams, or simply playing games in the open air. These were simple pleasures, but in their simplicity lay a certain joy, a connection to the natural world that is often lost in our modern lives. Life in the 1830s was not without its hardships, but amidst the toil and struggle, people found ways to laugh, to love, and to create moments of joy. Their resilience and their ability to find contentment in the face of adversity offer valuable lessons for us today. In the close-knit communities of the 1830s, neighbors were more than just people who lived next door. They were an extension of family. They relied on each other for help, for support, and for companionship. Barn raisings, quilting bees, and husking parties were more than just social gatherings. They were opportunities to work together, to share the load, and to strengthen the bonds of community. These events were a testament to the spirit of cooperation that was so essential to survival in a time when life was often harsh and unpredictable. Sunday church services were a cornerstone of social life. They provided a time for reflection, for prayer, and for connecting with the wider community. After the service, families would often gather for potluck meals, sharing food, stories, and laughter. These gatherings, both formal and informal, were vital to the social fabric of rural communities. They provided a sense of belonging, a reminder that no one was alone in the face of life's challenges. Section 5. Navigating the land travel in the 1830s. Travel in the 1830s was a slow and arduous affair, a far cry from the speed and convenience we take for granted today. For most people, the world was limited to the radius they could cover on foot or by horse-drawn wagon. Journeys that we can now complete in a matter of hours could take days, even weeks. Roads were often little more than dirt tracks, muddy and treacherous in bad weather. Rivers and streams, often without bridges, posed further obstacles. The stagecoach, a symbol of the Wild West, was beginning to emerge as a mode of transport connecting larger towns and cities. But for most, travel remained a local affair, undertaken only when absolutely necessary. Despite the difficulties, travel in the 1830s offered a chance to see the world, to experience new places, and to connect with people from different walks of life. It was a reminder of the vastness of the world beyond one's own small community. Section 6. Whispers on the Wind Communication Networks. In an era before telephones, radios and the internet, communication relied on much slower, more personal means. News traveled at the pace of a horse-drawn carriage or a sailing ship. Keeping in touch with distant friends and family was a challenge, often requiring weeks or even months for a letter to reach its destination. The postal service, while still in its infancy, was beginning to connect people across greater distances. Letters, carefully handwritten and often containing news from home, were a lifeline for those who had ventured far from their families. Word of mouth remained a powerful force in the spread of information. Local gossip, news from neighboring towns, and even national events were often disseminated through a network of personal connections, shared and reshared in homes, shops, and taverns. This slower pace of communication fostered a sense of anticipation and a deeper appreciation for the written word. It also meant that communities were more self-reliant, relying on each other for information and support. Section 7. The Shifting Landscape, Technology and Change. The 1830s stood as a pivotal decade, a time when the world was on the cusp of significant change. The Industrial Revolution, already transforming life in urban centers, was beginning to make its presence felt in rural areas. New inventions like the mechanical reaper and the steel plow promised to revolutionize agriculture, making farming more efficient, but also reducing the need for manual labor. The rise of factories, while creating new opportunities in urban centers, also threatened the traditional way of life in rural communities. The steam engine, a marvel of the age, was changing the face of transportation. Steamboats plied rivers and canals, carrying goods and passengers faster and farther than ever before. The first railroads were beginning to snake across the landscape, heralding a new era of speed and connectivity. These technological advancements brought with them both promise and uncertainty. They held the potential to improve lives, but also to disrupt traditional ways of living and working. The 1830s stood at the crossroads, a time of both excitement and apprehension about the changes to come. Section 8. Echoes of the Past, Lessons in Simplicity. Looking back at the 1830s, we catch a glimpse of a world vastly different from our own. It was a world of hard work, simple pleasures, and strong community ties. While we may not want to trade our modern conveniences for the hardships of life in the 1830s, there are valuable lessons to be learned from this bygone era. The people of the 1830s understood the importance of community, of relying on each other for help and support. They found joy in simple things, in nature, in music, and in the company of loved ones. Their lives were a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, the ability to find contentment and meaning even in the face of adversity. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, it's easy to lose sight of these simple truths. We become so focused on our own individual pursuits that we forget the importance of connection, of community, of slowing down and appreciating the world around us. Section 9. A Timeless Connection, Finding Meaning in Community. The 1830s may seem like a distant and irrelevant past, but the lessons of that era resonate deeply in our modern world. The human need for connection, for purpose, for a sense of belonging transcends time. While our lives may be vastly different from those of our ancestors, the fundamental human desires remain the same. We all seek meaning in our lives, a sense of purpose that extends beyond our own individual needs. We long for connection, for community, for the comfort of knowing that we are not alone in this journey. The 1830s, with its emphasis on community, on hard work, and on finding joy in simple pleasures, offers a timeless reminder of what truly matters. It reminds us that happiness is not found in material possessions, but in the strength of our relationships, in the satisfaction of a day's work, and in the simple act of being present in our lives. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, let us remember the lessons of the 1830s. Let us seek out connection, embrace the power of community, and find joy in the simple yet profound beauty of the world around us. For in doing so, we honor the legacy of those who came before us and paved the way for a more connected and meaningful future.